Hey guys, happy Monday. It's Ted Bogert. We are back with the TED Show, and we're debuting a new series from one of my favorite human beings, Cindy DeCoster. Cindy DeCoster.
Mm.
See, I told you I can't even speak this morning. Fierce Forward is the name of our show, and we're going to be talking about how you can live your life professionally, personally, spiritually, soulfully, physically, whatever it is, fierce forward. And today, especially, we're going to talk about an attitude of gratitude. So I'm really excited to launch this series. Welcome, Cindy. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you. I appreciate you more than you know. My other favorite human, so equally favorite human.
I'm so excited about this. I love the word fierce. I think it scares a lot of people, and it doesn't have to be when you are utilizing it and crafting it the way only you know best. But before we take a deep dive into where fierce came from and an attitude of gratitude, and I'm going to have to ask you about the name you have up there for StreamYard. Mine says Ted Bogert, yours says Cindy for the council. Let's get into that. But tell me a little bit
Great.
about you. Anybody who might be under a rock that doesn't know who Cindy DeCoster is.
Thank you. Well, I would hope that I am known by you and your followers because you are amazing. And we both come from a place of servant leadership and helping and promoting each other's success. So absolutely, again, I'm Cindy DeCoster. I am the co-founder with my husband of Fierce Realty. We started that company a year ago, November, and Fierce is an acronym that stands for fearless, intentional, energetic, resilient, courageous, and do everything to a standard of excellence. So that's what fierce means to me, and I'm super excited.
I had
But
forgotten
Cindy,
that was an acronym. I just love that word, but now I love it even more.
yeah, I love the word from 2012 when I read the book Fierce Conversations by Susan Scott, and it talks about having those difficult conversations, being comfortable, being uncomfortable, and shoot for the root of the problem, not mole whack the symptoms. And it spoke to me at a time that I needed to hear that. And it has resonated with me ever since. So I've carried that throughout each part of my life, personally, professionally, spiritually, and absolutely for the council. So the name on the screen,
Yeah,
Cindy
tell
for the
me about the
council.
name because I said, all right, Cindy for the council. I sort of know what that means, but a lot of people don't. So tell
Sure.
us a little bit about that. There's so much going on in 2021 already.
I know, I love it. So Cindy for the Council has been a website that I have put together because I am the slated candidate for the 2022 National Treasurer for the Women's Council of Realtors. And the council has been a huge part of what I consider phoenixing out of the ashes of the downturn market of 2007. So for the last 13, now 14 years, the council has been a huge part of a platform where truly a network of successful realtors that are mission to advance in the council and the communities, or in the industry and the communities we serve. So it embodies everything that I embody, and it is absolutely, I am for the council, I am for the membership, and I am all about promoting women, supporting women in the industry and in the communities we serve.
I think it's important for people to kind of understand we're talking about a real estate related organization, but in reality, this is all part of your movement. You've got a fierce movement. You're a big believer in empowering women and other women empowering other women. You're obviously a big believer in the real estate world, or you wouldn't have gone through it like the rest of us have for so long. Why though? Why is this important? Why is getting involved in being a servant leader at the level that you want to? Why is that important to you?
That's a great question, and I'll tell you that. So to up, because you always need to know where you came from before you know where you're going.
Amen.
And I majored in hospitality management. I have a BSBA in hospitality management from Appalachian State. And and when I was in management, it was not the easiest fit. Like I was effective at it and I checked all the right boxes, but from an organic position, it wasn't. It was very frustrating to, people needed money, therefore they worked. They weren't committed to what they were doing. Fast forward to leadership. Leadership is about people in the right place, doing the right things for the right reasons with the right people. Totally different from management. And to me, that's what I learned in college and I'm putting forward today. So it's really funny to me to think back. I won't tell you how many years ago to my days in college and going through classes like organizational behavior and hospitality law and these different classes that really talked about how people behave and how to motivate people to a cause. And now fast forward, Cindy 4.0 or not so O anymore. It's about what you can inspire others to do by your example. And so you shouldn't, and I won't, I'm not capable of changing who I am, but I'm about being intentional and sharing the beautiful picture that's in front of us. And that is the council. Like, that's the place that the council serves in the world. Watering it down by being involved in like 5,000 other organizations in a leadership position is not what I'm about. I'm about contributing and supporting other organizations and the leadership that they have. But go back to reading the one thing. When you say yes to one thing, you are saying no to something else.
That is true.
And again, talk about books that resonate with you. That book totally resonated with me in the sense that to be effective, you have to be intentional and you have to take massive, determined action towards your goal. And that's, for me, in promoting professionalism, education, leadership, empowerment, is the council. That is what the council does. That is the space that the council provides. And every other organization that our National Association of Realtors, our Florida Association of Realtors has, Orlando Regional Realtors Association, all of them do an amazing job in their individual lanes. But as I teach my agents, stay in your lane. And to me, the council's the lane I want to stay in. That's where I can plug in and be who I am and inspire others to be fiercely who they are.
I love it. All right. So we came, and we'll get back to some of that too. We came up with, or you came up with, I can't take any credit, an attitude of gratitude. Let's talk about that. Why? I'm a big believer. I wake up in the morning, whether I feel like it or not, and you push through, and then you think of the things you're thankful for, and then you kind of establish your day. That's sort of how I establish it. I had to fight with myself a little this morning because it's Monday. So I wasn't feeling so grateful. But once you adapt that and you adapt an attitude of gratitude, it's life-changing. So talk to us about why you thought that would be the best way to kick off our Fierce Forward series.
So it's because it's in my heart. It's what I believe. When I look out at our amazing leaders throughout the country, locally, state, and nationally, for the council, I am so grateful that they are doing us proud. They're doing us as an industry proud. They're doing us as an organization proud, and as a profession. So I look out, and I've been blessed to be invited into the different local and state meetings, their installations, and I have this abundance of gratitude. Like, I'm just humbled by the strength of these ladies. And if I give them any sense of empowerment, inspiration, or anything like that, to me, that humbles me. And I just have nothing but love and gratitude for all of these amazing leaders throughout the country.
So what do you do to be grateful on a daily basis? Is it a morning thing like it is for me? Are you an all-day thing? I mean, I'm kind of an all-day. I'm all over the place. I try to live in a place of gratitude. What are some of your practices? Because people will say, well, Ted, I wake up in the morning, I don't feel like it. So maybe during the day, I might think, oh, good, I'm thankful to have my job. But it's not an intentional or purposeful practice with a lot of people. What do you do?
Oh, well, I'm a little all over the place too. So you know that I'm a runner by heart, but by old knees, not so much anymore. And I'm walking now. So I'm always mindful. I think that's probably the first practice is we control our thoughts, and our thoughts become things. So being very intentional about what we think about so that we can manifest the right things, because if you think enough negative stuff is going to happen. So I'm very mindful of the thoughts I have. If I'm being honest, there are things that can derail me faster than I wish, I could, because again, life is about 90% of how we handle the 10% that we're handed. And so I'm going to say I'm a practicing reflective gratitude person, because I have to be very okay, out with that thought. And I'll tell you, a friend of mine, Christine Citrano, our 2020 Florida State President for the Women's Council of Realtors, she's a good friend of mine, and I would have a little bitch fest with her about stuff that's going on, and it's not fair, and and she would say, and instead of saying all of that, I would start doubting myself and talking bad about myself. And she said, stop talking about my friend like that. And I'm like, okay, I hear you. It's not me, it's your friend, it's your leader, it's your owner, it's your whoever, it's your mother that I'm speaking about. So I need to be careful of how I'm treating myself, because it's very contagious. So if we want to have a contagious attitude of gratitude, then we have to practice that.
It's practice, right? There are some things that I have that go on a daily basis. I think a lot of people will actually tell me, I don't think it, I know it. People will come up and say, you're always happy. What's your secret? Why are you always happy? I'm like, well, I mean, I do have my happy daddy juice on occasion. But it's really intense. I have to practice at it. And I don't know if you ever get so good at it that you don't have to be intentional about it, because we're human and stuff comes up. It's Monday morning. I'm tired. I didn't sleep great. I don't feel so great. Oh God, I got to go in. I got to do work. I got to do all of this stuff. So I'm focusing on all
the with me.
I have to do, instead of being thankful that I get
to do it.
And so the get word, the shift from do to get was really big for me. But I want you all to know that Cindy and I both still struggle. We're not perfect. It can be intentional and purposeful, and then I'm intentionally and purposefully a pain in the ass in the morning and don't want to talk about it. So you just have to figure out how you overcome that, but it takes practice.
The words that come to mind is, we are not in control of our first thought. That's our reaction. So my kids and my husband love to, when I'm startled, I make a noise, and I can't control that. If I startle, I come to find out, apparently I startle easily according to my family. But you can control every thought and action and word after the first thought. So I'm very mindful of that, and I'm very intentional on what's going to keep me positive. And I'll tell you, staying off certain websites is what I've had to do. I've had to stop seeing certain things, because it it's not good between the ears. You know what I mean? Yeah. So to keep, and people like yourself, people say to me, you always have a smile on your face. You're always upbeat. You're always, and I'm like, that's been a practice of mine since before I can remember.
Yep.
You know, and again, it's that whole, we are either brought to a problem or we are arriving to be the solution to it. And I think that we're here on earth to be that help to solve and promote and help people through their different challenges.
Yes. All right. So what can people expect in the next upcoming episodes? What are we going to be talking about? What's our focus going to be? How are we fiercing forward?
Well, I think that's a great question, and I totally welcome feedback. So please drop us in the chat box like what you'd love us to cover. But I think that coming up with you know, speak to us and develop where that plays out in our lives. I know that you and I both have had some health struggles and surgeries involved, and you know, all the physical therapy in the world does not replace the mental therapy that we have to be for each other. And think about being positive. Think about, you know, what could the message be in this challenge that we're faced with, and how do we share it with the world so that they can grow from it and learn from our challenges. And if we can pave the road to be a little less bumpy, isn't that what we're here to do, Ted?
Yes, that's what I want to do all the time. I think we all want to try to figure out how to make our contribution, but we get stuck in, you know, planning it too much, and then we don't make any kind of contribution. So I'll be very excited to have these conversations. There's a lot going on, a lot coming up. Of course, we're going to be talking about some real estate stuff, some women's council stuff, some overall community, you name it, anything that we can do to help you fierce forward. All right, what's the best way for them to reach you, Cindy? What if they want to learn more about Cindy for the Council or Cindy for the Council?
Well, take a look at my website, Cindy for the Council. It gives a little bit about who I am and where I've been. It gives it also will tell you some ideas of things I speak on. If you need me to speak to one of your networks or your companies, I'm really excited. Tomorrow, I'm going to be in Virginia with my dear friend Regina Scott and her Berkshire Hathaway office. She's the managing broker of Berkshire Hathaway, and we're going to talk about conflict management and how to embrace the sparks of conflict rather than trying to run from them. So if we embrace them, they could be one of our greatest strengths. So I'm excited about that. And then we're going to be in Florida, you and I together, with Amy Snook and her 2021 leadership team, and thank Christine Citrano and her 2020 leadership team for the state of Florida. We're going to do that this week. And I have to give a quick shout out to my daughter, who is, she is a fierce young lady, and she is on amazing teams. She's weightlifting. If you haven't checked her out on my Facebook page, you have to. She just hit a personal record last week for 115 pounds.
Amazing.
In the clean and jerk. She is going to districts this week, and then she's on the competitive cheer team, and they are going to states and regionals, I think. So, wow, like a lot going on, a lot to be grateful for. Lots of good attitude to show.
Exciting. All right, Cindy DeCoster, cindyforthecouncil.com. I can say it. Fierce Forward. If you guys have ideas, thoughts, things you want to talk about, message us, put it in the comments. Let's all have an attitude of gratitude, especially today. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. is on my mind, and I think he's on a lot of people's minds. So God bless you, Cindy. I'm super excited for this series. I'm really, really excited. So we'll be back approximately every Monday, depending on Ted's crazy calendar, but we will
Yeah.
certainly keep you in the loop. Thank you, Cindy. You're amazing.
Thank you, Ted. You are amazing too. And prayers to you, my friend, as you go fiercely forward through some surgery and recovery as well.
Yes.
So we're really
Thank
proud of you, and our hearts go out to you and your family when you're going through what you're going through. And
Definitely
you do it with
for
such a
the
smile.
family, right? Because who wants to put up with me after I've had surgery?
Yeah,
All right, guys, we'll be back.
Stacey deserves the
Thank
crown.
you so much, cindyforthecouncil.com. You know where to reach her, and if you don't, come find me and I'll get you in touch with her. All right, guys, we'll see you later.